understand why we're better off this way. It's all the more sweet with those tears upon your cheek and mascara running down your face. It's breaking your heart to watch me come apart, so you beg me to just let go. You say I'll be okay and I'll find love again. Then you smile to soften up the blow. Now I'm falling far from grace, wishing I was running from this place. Anywhere but here, 'cause I can't be a stranger. Tell you I'm in love. How drunk is drunk enough? Lord knows I'm feeling drunk enough right now. Hello, hello, hello.
Hey, hey.
Welcome. As you know, guys, if you tuned in last week, this is our Into the West podcast, and it's not complicated. It's simple. It's just two men having conversations and playing some music.
It's a Sunday night treat.
It's a Sunday night treat. It's fun. We play some games. And each week things get more and more interesting. Now, if you're tuning in here on Facebook, this is quite new for us. What we're trying to do is we're trying to show you a little bit about what the Into the West podcast is, in hopes that maybe you will join us over on Patreon. If you don't know what Patreon is a service that allows us to connect directly with our fans, and more importantly for our fans to support the band directly as well. It's very common now in the world. It's a great way for fans to support independent artists, to allow us to focus more on making content for you guys, making more music for you guys, all of those various sort of things, as opposed to, getting out and doing whatever we need to do to make money, you know. I mean, if I have to dance solo on a wooden mat on a street again, it's not fun.
No, but I do have the videos. If anyone wants to email me, I'll send them on to you.
It's a true story. I'm not a good dancer. The wooden mat slides around, so it's very difficult to stay. When it rains, you can't hear it. You know,
you forgot your tap shoes.
I did.
So there was no noise,
no sound.
It was like a silent movie.
Yeah. I mean, I literally wore ninja-style Nike sort of soft. I mean, you just couldn't hear these things coming. I mean, if a jogger was coming up behind you, you would get the fright of your life. That's, I believe, what they're called, Nike frights.
Nike frights.
Yeah.
Air frights.
Air frights. So someone, you know, you're just walking along and someone jogs, but you never heard them coming. You know, a popular shoe for kidnappers, I believe. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that whole story sounds so believable. Some people probably think it actually happened.
I've seen the ads.
Just to ruin the illusion.
They pitch it to, you know, they're like, Nike frights, kidnap in silence.
Nice.
Yeah, it's, you know.
I've seen those ads too.
So quiet, they'll never hear you coming. So, you know, maybe they should ban those shoes.
Yeah, they are in some countries already, actually.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Not available everywhere.
No.
You got to lock that stuff down.
Yeah, well, you can't just have people running around silently, you know. We need to, at the end of the day, we need to make sure everybody's tracked at all times so we know what everyone's doing at all times.
Oh, yeah. It's like electric cars. You don't even know when they're coming.
Yeah, they make that sound, don't they? Boo.
Yeah, but you got to be tuned into that. Like, I've had some close calls where you're crossing the road. Whoa, electric car coming.
Boo. Is that a UFO? Boo. Yeah, it's...
And usually there's music in my head anyway, so, like, it could be that.
Yeah, they're going to have to start emitting something more, you know?
Yeah.
As long as it doesn't get like ringtones for phones where you can program your car to make whatever noise you want.
Yeah, I know.
You can imagine some people like going, move, get out the way, I'm coming, move, get out the way as you're driving everywhere.
Yeah.
Or fart noises. Like,
yeah, that could work.
What's that? I mean, because technically, if it's an artificial sound, you can program it to make whatever sound you want.
Yeah, I think I'd rather just be extra careful crossing roads.
Yeah.
I'll stick to that.
Some sore necks around.
Yeah.
You know, the old safe cross code?
Uh-huh. You're going to have to update that.
Does it look right? It's look right, because in Britain and Ireland, and in Germany and everywhere else it would be different. But it's look right, look left before you cross the road, right? Because when you're crossing the road...
Is there not a rhyme? Is there no rhyme to it?
There is. Do you not know? I don't know.
No, I can't remember it.
But now it's going to have to be look right, look left, look right again, look left again, double check to your right, check to your left, one more little swift look to the right, maybe look to the left, run across the road as fast as you can.
While screaming.
Yeah, while screaming. Ah! So, anyway, I digress. We're going to kick into a song here and then I'll tell you a little bit more about what we're doing. And again, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. We've got our patrons over on our Crowdcast, and then we've got some people hopefully here in the Facebook world and, of course, in YouTube land. Richie is the guy behind the camera who is organising all of our effects, our tech wizard. Very, very helpful, so thank you to Richie. And also, we should explain what instruments are available to us. Everything is, of course, live. We have a piano.
I got my piano.
We got a guitar. We got a kick down here for his foot. And we got this, which goes into my hand and makes beautiful shaky noises. So there you go.
And your harmonicas. They
and their harmonic, which they can see, so they can understand that.
Yeah, sure.
All right.
We're going to kick it off with an interesting cover.
Yes, we are. So we're going to start this one off. We've never sang this before today. We like to just learn them just before we sing. Keep us on our toes. This is Let Her Go by Driver. No, Passenger. Oh, sorry. In the key of B flat.
B flat.
You only meet the light when it's burning low. Only miss the sun when it starts to snow. Only know you love her when you let her go. Only know you've been high when you're feeling low. Only hate the road when you're missing home. Only know you love her when you let her go. And you let her go. Staring at the bottom of your glass, hoping one day you'll make this dream last. Dreams come slow and they go so fast. You see it when you close your eyes. Maybe one day you'll understand why everything you touch surely dies. But you only need the light when you're burning low. Only miss the sun when it starts to snow. Only know you love her when you let her go. Only know you'll be high when you're feeling low. Only hate the road when you're missing home. Only know you love her when you let her go. Staring at the ceiling in the dark, same old empty feeling in your heart. Love comes slow and it goes so fast. Well, you see her when you fall asleep, but never to touch and never to keep. You loved her too much and you dive too deep. Well, you only need the light when it's burning low. Only miss the sun when it starts to snow. Only know you love her when you let her go. Only know you've been high when you're feeling low. Only hate the road when you're missing home. Only know you love her when you let her go. And you let her go. Oh, 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 oh. And you let her go. Oh, oh, you let her go. You let her go. You let her go. Well, you let her go. You let her go. You only need the light when it's burning low. You only miss the sun when it starts to snow. You only know you love her when you let her go. You only need it high when you're feeling low. Only hate the road when you're missing home. Only know you love her when you let her go. And you let her go. let her go.
Ah, lovely, lovely, lovely.
Nice.
It's fun just trying out new songs. You never quite know how it's going to go. Sometimes I get distracted with things like, I'm like, ooh, I can bang the shaker off my chest and make a snare. And then I'm like, oh, fuck, what's the words? So that happens sometimes.
That happens a lot, actually. But
yeah. Apologies for the language. It just happens. We're not quite past the watershed. So if there are any kids watching, what I said was, feck.
That's what we said.
That's what we said.
That's what everyone says in Ireland anyway.
Yeah, everyone does. Sure, feck it. It'll be grand. I know it's a stereotype. I often go on about stereotypes, but stereotypes are often stereotypes for a reason. I'm an Irish man. Does that mean I like innocent potatoes? Yes.
Yeah, pretty much.
It does.
Yeah.
Does it mean I say feck potatoes, or I don't run around saying potatoes? How are you, John? Potatoes. Ah, yes.
Feck.
Potatoes, yes, feck. Feck and potatoes. So, different things that we like to talk about every week. So a lot of podcasts like to talk about current news and things like that, and we prefer to talk about, honestly, it's for our own safety, because I have very strong political, religious views, and those are the things you should never talk about when drunk. So why talk about them now? Because if we're friends, I'd like to keep it that way. So I like to just talk about stuff that's not. It's safety, because you know, I have strong opinions, and I've learned over the years, as I'm sure many of you has, that not everybody wants to hear your opinion, and honestly, you can't please everybody, so why get involved?
Yeah.
Why get involved?
So what do we like doing instead?
We like talking about weird and wacky news. So
that's it.
We look up a bit of weird and wacky news to see, and also we don't want to. It's hit and miss. I'm not going to lie, it's hit and miss, because we like to pull up the news as we go. We don't like to pre-search the weird and wacky news, because if we do, then we can't learn about it at the same time as you, and that is part of the fun.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing. So I'm going to start off with anything that just tickles my fancy. Just, you know, gives me give me another phrase for tickles my fancy. Let's start with that. What is another phrase for tickles? I'm tangent. I know, but I want to know. Tickles my fancy.
Tickles my fancy is a great phrase.
It is. So I'd love to know a couple more. Tickles my pickle.
Tickle my pickle. That rhymes. I like that one.
Very good. Tickle my fancy. Alternative synonym. That's not really what. Engage someone's attention.
That's lame.
Yeah. I would like to find something that engages my attention. Something that catches my eye. I mean, we're pretty obvious here. What side are we on? Captain Obvious? That's a poor joke. Okay, so floats my boat. That's my cup of tea. Turns someone's crank.
Wow.
Have you ever heard of that? Yeah. I tell you what turns my crank, right? I tell you, how old do you have to be? Because honestly, there isn't a young person that, I mean, even for us, we
it's a stretch.
Yeah, we've never had but we learned as the years went on that car cranks exist. But the further we go along in the historical timeline, the further away we get from car cranks, the less people are going to know what the hell is going on.
Yeah, true.
Okay, so let's talk about this. Maine man. He's from Maine, in America, M-A-I-N-E. Maine man tried to pay $200 bail with counterfeit bills.
Oh, cheeky.
The absolute Leroy D on this fella.
Alternative name for balls.
Irish name for balls. Not alternative.
Yeah.
The balls on this fella.
Oh my God, don't do it to the cops.
A man in Maine tried to post $200 bail with counterfeit bills, according to the sheriff's office. Deputies responding to a report of a stolen vehicle in Waterborough early Sunday morning stopped a man walking nearby. A York County Sheriff's Office wrote on Facebook post. That bit was not really needed emphasis, but I emphasised it anyway. They determined that he was not involved, but arrested him on an outstanding warrant for theft.
Oh, man.
Poor bastard.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm going to do today? What? I'm going to go for a nice walk. A nice Sunday walk. I'm going to go enjoy the weather. Enjoy, darling. Okay. Pull up. Did you steal this car? No, I did not. Whew. And then it turns out they arrest him because he has an outstanding warrant because someone else committed a crime. Oh my God. Of all the luck.
And then the only money he had on him was counterfeit.
and then he went further and paid the thing. Why would you risk it? Your luck is already bad enough.
Yeah.
We've proven you're not having good luck, so what are you going to do now? Test that? All right. So that's the first bit of wacky news. Now this, I don't even know what this is going to say, but it's basically saying a McDonald's customer may have overreacted when he didn't get chicken McNuggets sauce. That is turning my crank.
Is it? Yeah.
It's turning my crank. I'm going in to check it. So let me see. Police say Iowa man attempted to get revenge on his local McDonald's. Bloody ads getting in the way. Get away. On his local McDonald's after he was shafted out of sauce for his chicken McNuggets. But things blew up in his face. Now, first of all, I want to bring to attention the lack of puns. I feel like there's got to be something in the nugget McDonald's area for puns, and they haven't really hit us with any puns there.
They've used shafted where they should have used something else.
Yeah. I don't really know. I'm going to let that go. If any of you have anything in the comments, throw it up there. And you can be quiet. So, let me see. Man, they are listening. Look at that. Turn off ads comes up as an ad to try and get me because I said turn off ads. Google, if you're listening, we love you. We're good people. So investigators told us that discovered his order was incorrect. And he started making threats. On Sunday, he was released from Bowl. So is there any like decent...
If it's just the sauce, like, come on, man.
Is there... The police arrested him on Saturday night after he allegedly threatened to blow up the restaurant and punch an employee over missing condiments. Okay, I mean...
Like, don't just go back up and ask for the missing condiments.
No, he's now like, I'm so pissed that I got home without my... I mean, I get it. If he gets home and he opens the box and there's no chicken nuggets in there. Or there's a wrap.
Yeah, exactly. Then you can blow the place up.
Yeah, that's perfectly acceptable at that stage.
Yeah.
So, what else have we got here? The weird and wacky, wonderful news. No, this is not necessarily weird news. It's nice news. A man honors 9/11 crews by pushing a drink cart from Boston to New York.
Wow.
Former flight attendant. I can understand that, you know. Like, he may have been a flight attendant at the time. He may have known some people, and nobody ever talks about that. Nobody ever talks about everyone, you know, there's often references to the pilots, of course, but there's never any references to, like, the flight attendants. Mm-hmm. Just people doing their daily job, going up, you know, we get flights. They're always lovely. They're always very polite, very helpful, I find.
Yeah.
And lovely people. And then, you know, sadly, they lost their lives as well. But nobody ever talks about that. I know it's all loss of life is sad, but I've just never heard it specifically referenced. So
nice gesture from him.
Okay, here's an interesting one. I like this. Well, I don't like it, but it's interesting. A man with coronavirus disguises as his wife on an Indonesian flight. So obviously he wanted to go somewhere, right? And he had the vid.
He had the vid-19.
He had the vid, right? And he wanted to get on. The suspect brought a plane ticket with his wife's name and brought the identity card and the PCR result and the vaccination card with his wife's name and dressed up as his wife.
Did he go as far as makeup and a wig and shoes and clothes?
Well, he got caught out, so let's find out what it was that tripped him up, shall we?
Yeah.
An Indonesian man with the coronavirus. Is that? It's one word. I always thought it was coronavirus, but okay. So a man with the vid has boarded a domestic flight disguised as his wife wearing a hijab. Is that how you say it? Hijab. Covering his face and carrying fake IDs and negative PCR test results. But the cover didn't last long. Police say a flight attendant aboard the CityLink plane travelling from Jakarta to Ternate, I'm not sure how you pronounce that. It's Ternate. In the North Maluku province on Sunday noticed that the man changed the clothes in the lavatory. I think we need to have a word with whoever wrote this. Their grammar's not great. In the lavatory. There's only I suppose, yeah. Oh no, it was to change the clothes, not his clothes. That's what got me. He bought a plane ticket with his wife's name and brought his identity card, PCR test result, vaccination and all that. And he got caught out because he changed his clothes. What a moron.
Yeah, just stay in the disguise.
Stay in the disguise. Don't get on the plane and then go into the bathroom and come out a man.
Did he not learn anything from Mrs. Doubtfire?
Come on. That's basic stuff. All right, last one. This snake stuff has been, because we had this conversation in a previous.
Yeah, we had some snakes last
podcast.
week.
Yeah. So this, I'm kind of glad I live in Ireland where there are no snakes.
Yeah, thank God.
But Do you want the snakes one, or do you want to learn about the Border Patrol who sent back 7 Canadians?
Border Patrol.
I like this one because, you know what, I think I've heard about this. There is a park.
Is there Border Patrol between Canada and the US?
Oh, yeah.
Like, heavy?
Yeah, and as far as I know, like, I remember hearing a story, now you can correct me if I'm wrong if anybody knows, but I remember hearing a story about a park in the US that kind of half of the park is the US and half the park is Canada. And one day a jogger was just jogging along, didn't really realise, and all of a sudden they were in the US and they couldn't get back. Now, I don't know how that happened, so maybe Richie can find that story and pull up some information. But 7 people apprehended after entering Vermont illegally from Quebec by driving across the lawn of a library built in both the US and Canada were immediately returned to Canada, the US Border Patrol said. Surveillance videos released by the Border Patrol shows the car drive by Haskell Free Library and Opera House on the Fort, nearly hitting a car as it turns onto the street. Agents apprehended the vehicle a short time later as it headed south on Interstate 91.
Yeah, if they're driving across like a grass front yard or something, that's dodgy.
So no things. So that's interesting. So if the library is built on both land, right?
Yeah.
Is it? I wonder. Is it the library? Is half the library like when you're in the library?
Yeah.
Are you in the US section? Or are you in the? And could you go in one door as Canada and come out the other door as US?
That would be a good selling point for the for the library.
Just be like, oh, I'm just coming in here to get a book, and then you're like, thank you for the book. I'll just go out the door I came in, and then all of a sudden you're in the US. Yeah. That's another interesting thing. America is everybody in America thinks everybody wants to get into America. That's not always the case.
Some people trying to leave.
I mean, Richie's an American. He's trying to get into Ireland.
Yeah.
And he's having just as much trouble, to be fair.
And we're happy to have him.
Yeah. And now, of course, with Brexit, sadly, I shouldn't get onto politics.
No, but it's another.
But sadly, many people now won't be able to get in there either.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think that's enough of the weird and wacky news. We've seen some better ones. We've seen some funnier ones, but I'm okay. I'm happy with some of those.
That happens sometimes. We've got more games coming up later.
Yeah, plenty coming up. So before we finish, guys, for those of you, finish when I say the podcast isn't over, but for those of you watching us on Facebook, sadly, we are ending here. The reason we've decided to start performing the beginning stages of the podcast every week, I'm not even saying this right, but is to give you an idea of what the podcast is about. And if you're interested in watching more, just join us on to patreon.com/Keywest Official. And there's probably a link there, hopefully supplied by the Richie. And
the rest of the performance will be over there.
Yeah, we've got some more songs coming. This is the next song that we're going to play for you.
Oh yeah, this one. See if you know it.
See if you recognize it. Yeah, there you go. So basically, once we say goodbye to you here in about a minute, we'll be starting up on Patreon. So for those of you who are watching through Patreon on Crowdcast, you don't need to do anything.
Sit tight.
The stream will recommence in 1 minute. For those of you watching on Facebook, thank you so very much for tuning in. And if you do feel like you want to pop over to Patreon and see what that's all about, please follow the link. Remember, as we said, there's so much more than just the weekly podcasts. We have exclusive songs going on there, hangouts, and we are constantly trying to come up with more and more ways to bring more value to that particular platform, which will allow us to bring you exclusive content and allow us to continue to make more and more content, albums, so on and so forth. So if you've any interest, if you like what you're involved in tonight and you'd like to see some more, please go over there and check it out. In the meantime, enjoy the rest of your night, and for those of you on Patreon, we will see you in about 60 seconds. So for now, adieu.